Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Wednesday, October 25th, 2017. And we got Maxie, and there's Miss Soxy right there. It is, I'm going to take this up here so you can see, it's a very overcast day today here at the Homestead. I'm not sure what power we brought in, we'll go in and check that in a second. But it's been overcast all day long. The leaves are really starting to come off the trees, as you can see with the trees up here. They're really, and we got, if you look on the ground, see all the leaves on the ground. Which I still got to get to that point and rake them up. So let's go and have a look and see where we're at here. Yeah, our power input today is not good. 0.8 and 0.8, so 1.6 today. So not a real good day power-wise. I know you can't see it because it's too blurry, but yeah, 1.6 is not a good power day at all. But, what are you going to do? There's going to be those types of days. So, somebody had suggested a video, and I actually... it's something that I think is kind of real important. Something, being a nurse and dealing with it all the time. We're going to talk about losing somebody. And I just had, I had 2 residents pass away within the last week, and I have one right now that he may be gone by the time I get back tonight. But so we deal with death. And, you know, there's a process, obviously, with death, and people go through stages of it with acceptance or not acceptance and stuff like that. And so, anyway, what happens now? So this was basically what the question was going to be with people in a post-event. In a post-event, how do you deal with death? Now, it would depend on the kind of death, number one, obviously. If somebody died by violence, that would be a very traumatic thing to have to deal with, and really, really hard to deal with, because, you know, it's not an easy thing to think about. Just knock on the door, Tom.
What's that? Just
knock on the door.
Okay.
So he knows you're there. My son's tutor's here. So anyway, you know, dealing with death in a form of violence, it's going to be really, really difficult, and you know, losing a loved one that way is going to be tough. So, but you know, let's just even talk about the somebody dying natural. Not even, I can't say naturally in a post-event, because there's so many things that are preventable that in a post-event would not be. You know, somebody got sick, had the flu, wasn't able to be treated, or if they had, you know, some kind of an infection that went septic, and then they end up dying that way as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that people would be very frustrated, would be very angry, you know, not knowing, you know, in why, and you'd still have to go through the grieving process, and when you watch the families come in and they're just destroyed because somebody's dying, it's very, very difficult to deal with, you know, and it's hard. It's not an easy thing, not for anybody, you know, not for staff, especially not for the family members, but you know, it's not an easy thing. So in a post-event, I think it would even be much more traumatic, because you might not have that chance to deal with a grieving process. If you are in a firefight and you're losing loved ones around you, or people that you care about, you know, because somebody's trying to hurt you or hurt your group or whatnot, or your family, excuse me, and you're trying to defend what's yours, and then you're watching loved ones around you die, and you're also having to kill people if you're at that point. That's a major shock to the system. You know, that's not an easy thing to deal with. And then after the aftermath, let's say you've been in this firefight and you win, and let's say you have 15 people in your group, and you just lost 4 of them. because of this firefight, and maybe you know, killed 8 marauders, let's say. So now, not only do you have to deal with disposing of those bodies of the people that you dispatched, but you're also having to deal with the fact that you've lost loved ones in your group, and now your group's numbers are dwindled. Okay, that is a very, very traumatic thing that people are going to have to deal with. And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of people are not going to be able to deal with that. A lot of people are going to crack, because it's like, you know, that is just too much to bring in, especially especially in our super sensitive world that we live in today, where words hurt people. Well, this would be a whole different kettle of fish, guys, I'll tell you what. And I know that most of my subscribers are, you know, are preppers to a degree, or, you know, off-gridders, or pushing to that level. So, you know, you guys already have a different mindset, okay? But still, even with that mindset, I'm going to tell you what. If we were in a firefight here, let's say, and I lost Heather, or I lost Eddie, that would be devastating to me. Hopefully I wouldn't have them in harm's way in that situation, but, you know, as they get older, you know, they would definitely be in that situation, you know, because, you know, like I said, you know, they're going to have to grow up really, really fast in a post event. And I'm talking worst case scenario, guys. I'm not just talking a local, regional, national disaster. I'm speaking of a worst case scenario, end of the world as we know it type of situation. You know, and it's, you know, let's look at something, and let's look at something realistically. You look at Chicago right now, and the number of killings per month up there. Those people are going through that all the time right now, and, you know, it's just like, it's insanity, you know. And these poor families having to deal with the loss of a loved one for senseless violence. I mean, you know, for what, territory, for the gang, or just being an innocent bystander. You're sitting in your house and there's a firefight outside because this guy's mad at that guy, and or they want revenge for this and that, and a stray bullet goes in the house and it kills the 4-year-old child. I mean, you know, those things happen all the time, and they happen all over this country all the time. And because maybe it doesn't affect you directly, you don't think about it. You see it in the news or you see it in the paper. But it's affecting somebody, okay? And it's affecting somebody in a really, really bad way. So I want you guys to think about, this is basically the premise of this video, is I want you guys to think about how you would deal with this in a post-event, losing a loved one to violence or to sickness or whatever. Because here's the reality. Let's say if it's a worst case scenario, end of the world as we know it, and you're never attacked, you're still going to lose loved ones, okay? Through sickness, through old age, through an infection, injury, or whatever, because there may not be that doctor there or that nurse there, you know, to help you. And it was like somebody had made this, you know, the comment to in the video one time, and they said, well, in a post-event, now you're the doctor. Realistically, yeah, because I mean, because of my medical background, you know, I have more experience than most people do. So, you know, I would probably end up taking on that role. And that's a tough pill to swallow even for me, to be honest with you. But I would do what I had to do to try to help people. I mean, I truly would. But, you know, this is something to think about. And it's like, I'm trying not to be morbid, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm on some kind of morbid rant with, you know, the prepping things and negativity of what could happen and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to do is I want you guys to think, and I want you guys to put yourself in that situation and think about these things ahead of time. And what can we do to prevent these type of things from happening? That's another good thing to think about too. What can I do to make sure that somebody doesn't get this sickness or that sickness, or, you know, we have enough medical supplies to take care of this, that, or the other thing. So those are definitely things that I want you guys to think about, okay? So I wanted to put this out there. I want to put this video out there, and you know, kind of just go from there and see what happens and see what you guys think. I definitely want your feedback on this. I think it's a really, really important topic. A lot of people, you'll see the videos, and You know, oh, I'm all gung-ho and I got my guns and I'm ready to go. But the reality is, when you have to take a life or you lose somebody close to you, the way that that's going to affect you is definitely it's going to be hard, and it's not going to be easy. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be to violence. It could be to a stupid mistake or an injury. And you know, maybe you got your guys out there and they're chainsawing and they're, you know, collecting wood, and somebody slips, and now next thing you know, you got somebody who bleeds out because of stupidity. Okay, these type of things are going to happen. They happen every day now. It's just going to be personified in a post-event. It's going to be that small injury could be life-threatening. So I want you guys to think about these things. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. We're just, you know, moving along here at the homestead. The weather's definitely cooled down. It is, I think it was 46 degrees. So we do have a fire going. You can't really tell, I'm sure, but we definitely, we got the vapor coming out of the top of the stovepipe there. I mean, I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to get closer here so that you guys can see. But we got a nice fire going in the house, so the house is nice and toasty and warm. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's definitely, well, it doesn't, yeah, there's some smoke, but not, you can't really see a lot of smoke. But anyway, guys, listen, remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. What? That's a good boy. And remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. And the only one that's going to stop you from that is you. And we just keep working at things and you'll get there. All right, guys? Well, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. I definitely want your feedback on this video, so please comment, okay? Thank you very much, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prep and Nurse 1 out for now.